Tell us a little bit about yourself and the background behind your work.
Okay, first of all, thank you for coming here and giving me an opportunity to join these wonderful artists in a group show. So I'm very thankful. About myself a little bit, I think I entered this world a brief moment ago at a peaceful small place in the Korean peninsula, which is located between the eastern China and Japan, and then the eastern Russia and Japan, and eastern China and North America. So that's the location, geographical location of the place I entered this world. So I'm glad that I made it. My work, as you may be seeing, the writing I wrote about this show, nature teaches art, and art teaches nature. So I'm going to talk about, that the first, kind of sentence a little bit. By the way, my name is Seho Park, and we Koreans and Japanese people share the old classic Chinese letters to name important things. My name is made of 3 syllables. Park is my family name, and Seho is my given name. Park, the park in the Chinese character, which is basically a pictogram, images put together. Interestingly, park means a tree and a person standing right next to a tree. So now that I'm painting all these trees, I'm thinking maybe certain destiny there.
It's meant to be.
From birth. And then my own name, my name, so-called the first name, Seho means, those are 2 Chinese characters. A person living near a large body of water. And I'm living in Winona, which is a river town right next to this great Mississippi River. So my name certainly makes great sense. So maybe my next journey would be, in terms of my painting, principle, practice, maybe after these trees, maybe I might go to the riverside and do some rivers, perhaps. But anyway, art teaches, so those are my paintings. As you see, those are all trees. But by the way, I'm glad that all 3 of us are commenting upon the trees. Trees are nice, aren't they? As I said, nature teaches art. Nature has so many things. Although there would be some problems to our human eyes, but nature has its own sense of life, as we know, which consists of many, many things living together, being born and living through the process of life, and then dying. But the dying itself will be the beginning of a new life, coming out of it. So it's a wonderful sense of a life form. So a kind of organic sense of unity and recycling there. And that's what I think, we can learn so that we could translate that essence into the way we make art, the way we put things in this oblong or square space that we have in front of us to create images according to what nature preserves and nature provides. So the painting, a work of art, is in a sense a kind of interpretation or translation of what nature has in its essence. So that's what the first part of the first statement. Nature teaches us how to see art, and how art teaches us how to see nature. I talked about the tree. Remember that a young person is climbing up a tall tree. Why would a child do that? Firstly, the child would have to look at the tree, a tall tree standing in front of him or her. And then that's a gorgeous looking, living thing there. And then he or she would want to climb to the top of the tree, if possible, not putting herself, himself in some kind of a dangerous situation. Gotta be careful. But the climbing over the tree could be an exhilarating experience to speak with, to begin with. Looking at it, there's a sense of wondrous kind of existence in front of that tree, another living form, and the climbing over it. So a tree is for the child to look at and to climb up, and then you go up to the top of the tree safely, I hope. So you are there, then there's suddenly a new dimension that will unfold, meaning now you are sitting on top of the tree, you can see the world far, far away, unfolding in front of you, which you have never seen before. Meaning the tree allows the child to see the world from a totally different viewpoint. I think that tells a lot about what a work of art is. So a tree is a product of nature. In a sense, a painting, a work of art is also, in a sense, in a much bigger dimension, when you think about it, it's a part of nature. It reflects nature, and that it allows us to go up or go into it to see the world through the eyes, through the windows of these objects we call art. So that's what I said. That's why I said, art teaches us how to see nature, so that we can make a wonderful connection between the way we make art and the way nature, creates us. That kind of idea. So that's the first part of my statement there. Someone asked me what it means. Art, nature teaches art, and art teaches us how to look at art. Trees are nice things. Someone also asked me, what is the parameter, the technical parameter in the way I come up with the compositions. There are many ways to talk about the work of art, the paintings, especially these tree paintings. One among, the interesting, among a number of existing, the interesting points I always have when I get to paint the trees. That is that I want to see, I get to see, or I want to see a sense of a musicality. I see a painting as a kind of a pictorial visual music. What is a music? A music is a kind of composition consisting of many, many elements singing together. How do they sing together? In order to make this singing interesting, another language for interesting would be aesthetical, beautiful, although beauty or aesthetic quality, those two languages are not too popular in today's world of artistic production all around the world, living in the middle of first part of the 21st century. But in a sense, the tree paintings to me is a kind of a picturesque music where all those sounds, visual sounds, are playing together in harmony, going through all types of, kind of a counterpoint kind of a relationship where, or they create a sense of a very, congealing harmony while making very exciting contrast or competition among all those elements. When Anna's work, when I was looking at her work, I thought that's interesting because according to one scripture, the Creator says, I have a will to make the whole world full of things big and small, and all other things in between, a great variety. So there's a variety, there's a contrast, but they have to live together, they have to coexist together. So in her work, I thought, well, that's interesting. In a sense, in my painting, it's a painting of the trees, these trees, in a sense, I'm attempting to reflect my sense of kind of visual musicality where all of the things are positioned in their own ways while maintaining a sense of a multi-relational kind of interval situation. So because of that, I enjoy walking around the lake in Winona quite often times to just see this vastness of this landscape full of trees. There's a kind of infinite sense of variety in the way trees coexist together. It's so big, but one way I approach it, the way I see the trees, and then thinking about how I would translate this vastness of the coexistence of these trees for me that I can try would be to somehow visually, technically use the idea of scooping. You take a small portion out of this whole thing and see if that small portion I scoop out would reflect the essential aspect of this mutual harmonious rhythmic relationship, which is at the essential center of this whole existence of these trees. So in a sense, there's no limitation, there's no exhaustion in terms of the kind of compositional variety. So I always have things that I can go for the next, for the second time, for the third time. I think that's something which is also another beautiful, kind of fertile thing that this nature is providing myself with. So those are my three stories. Thank you.
I like your tree stories. Thank you for sharing. So you were saying that you scoop it out.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that we had was, do you work from the memory of that? Do you work?
I think that, as a visual artist, I think we have very sensitive eyes. Our eyes work like cameras. So I see them, I use a so-called visual thinking, visual kind of storing. I take photographs. I really go out and sit under these trees. As you see, my paintings are too large to take out and I try to paint. So I use my imagination, my thinking process. That tells a lot about human intelligence, I think. We are prone to depend on kind of technical kind of machines or toys. These scientifically developed toys are good, but at the same time, these mechanical things take so much away from what we are born with, the natural sense of taking pictures. I can make pictures in my brains. I can see them. So that's the way I see the process of getting the images.
Very nice. Very nice. I don't know. I think it was before all the guests came on. Tell everyone how you size your canvases, because I was fascinated by that. When you make your canvases.
How do I make canvases?
Well, how do you know what size to make your canvas?
Well, what size to make? Sometimes I have to deliver, my painting to a place. So I measure the size of my canvas according to the size of my car, so that I can easily put them, 20 of them, in the back side of my small car. Certainly, there are bigger canvases I work on too, but it is not easy, to carry around. So that is those paintings. Let me see, 38 by 58, exactly the size of the cargo area of my small car. So it works nicely. Also, those are all horizontally oriented. So works okay.
I was very impressed with everybody's art packing skills in their vehicles. And Anna delivered Rachel and hers, and it was in this little vehicle, and it was packed so well. It was really innovative. So I got a kick out of that. Seho, any current or upcoming projects you want to share with us?
No, I'm just continuing working on these trees. Certainly, I do non-representational, pictures as well. But no matter what other types of artworks I get to work on, I always come back to these trees.
Yeah.
Also, as you see, they are, except for the one painting with the green, foliage and the trees, most of these paintings are so-called almost a monochromatic. Maybe I'm referring to the grand tradition of the Oriental painting, the Chinese, ink painting as well, because I'm conscious about how the brush work, the strokes that come out from the tip of the brush is so important, because a single brush stroke can mean the whole movement of the universe, according to a Chinese philosopher, okay? A Chinese painter can paint a small leaf, a blade of grass, putting in the whole universe into it by one single stroke. The ink brush, that kind of idea. So I try all I can do to make sure that each stroke has a sense of vitality. So it's not about the view of the trees, but also the way the brush strokes are singing, hopefully singing and working together. So if the viewers are not seeing that, the gentle, swift, kind of a gesture each stroke is making, then maybe the viewer is missing something there, missing something important there as well. So typically, many people would want to know what the subjects are, what this is about. Painting is about painting, basically. Painting, the meaning of a painting resides in the language itself. Painting is a paint, to paint, and paint the material, paint as a material, paint as the action, paint as the tool, paint as a sensation. The canvas has to be felt. The size, the scale has to be felt too, right? The texture, all those things have to be felt, seen through the eyes. So viewers must experience it there, as far as I'm concerned as a painter.
Very nice.
Yeah. Very unique way of looking at everything. I like that.
Thank you. I say things like this because I'm teaching.
Hey,
Good.
Yeah, I have some colleagues here today. Thank you. I teach at Winona State University. So so.
Well, I always like to say it's a continuous learning environment. So yes, we can learn something new every day. Thanks for teaching. Does anyone have any questions for our artists? You can, I think, unmute yourself and ask a question. I just wanted to open it up to everyone.